Welcome to Autism ABCs. I'm Dr. Lynette Louise, otherwise known as the Brain Broad, because I work to optimize the brain in a broad spectrum of disorders, but I specialize in autism. Today is a super special day for me. We're doing the letter C. We did A on attitude, B on behavior. We're going to do C on courage, because it takes a lot of courage to make the right choices for your child with autism. When I was raising my children, I raised 4 children on the spectrum, and 3 of them came off the spectrum. They were adopted and multiply handicapped. So I have a little bit of experience in this even before I became a professional. And when I was working with my children, there was a young girl who had Down syndrome, and the parents were fighting for inclusivity in the school system, and at the time that was difficult. They were putting a lot of energy into getting news and getting the law to cooperate in their journey. And I remember reading that and thinking, do I want to do this? Or do I want to put all my attention and all my energy into actually helping my children? It takes courage to make those kinds of choices. It takes courage to choose to go after the news and the media. It takes courage to choose not to. It takes courage to choose to ask experts for help. And it takes courage to not do what they say when it doesn't feel right and it doesn't resonate. The reality is, no matter how much we've learned and how much different it is now from when I raised my children, at the end of the day, you are your child's best resource. You're the one who has to have the courage to trust yourself and make the right choices. I really wanted to choose today to have the letter C because it takes courage for something else too. The 1st of April is the beginning of Autism Awareness Month. It's also the beginning of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And with your child with autism, the odds on them being assaulted are higher. I'm sorry to report that, but it's just true. Many children with autism are taught to comply. That's primarily the first thing that you do if you're working with ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis. I don't use ABA, but many people do. And compliance is the point. So here you have a child who's reaching puberty, and puberty is so difficult for these children. The neurotypical child gets their information. When they reach puberty, they get their information from their friends, from things they see on YouTube, things they hear about from teachers. They go to sexual awareness class. Your child gets their information from their body, from the way that their sensory integration difficulties actually affect them. They end up with the strangest fetishes, and people freak out and have horrible reactions to it. So that drives them further inside, and they get less information. If you're the caregiver or the parent, well, actually, if you're the parent, it's your job, as you have to be careful of your caregivers. Your child will comply if you've taught them to comply. They're socially inappropriate. Their sensory system is helping them to respond to the wrong things, and they're completely surprised by puberty. Half of them don't want to wear clothes most of the time. So when puberty comes along, it is a really big challenge. And if all you've been trained to do by all the experts that you reached out for was extinguish behavior, you're not going to address it. You need to help your child and give them all the information, all that blunt, clear, absolute knowledge that if they were neurotypical, they would have got otherwise. And if you don't do that for them, then they're left to flounder. And in that place of no understanding, they are really targets for sexual assault. So please, consider this. When your children are young, if they haven't reached puberty yet, start now. Talk clear, talk plain, explain, oh, that's your penis, or those are your genitals. Please don't, touch them in public. Put your clothes on because people will probably take that wrong. Think about this. It's an important subject. I'm Dr. Lynette Louise. This is the Autism ABCs, and please like and subscribe. See you on the letter D.